Добрый день, мы находимся на стенде PackerJet в Милане. В принципе, компания, которая не требует большого представления, потому что они, в принципе, делают эксклюзивный продукт. Это называется гомогенизатор. Сейчас немножко нас шеф-повар Антон и специалист по PackerJet сделает небольшую рецензию, ревью и расскажет вместе с шеф-поваром Ульманом, который будет говорить на английском, Антон будет переводить на русский, и мы попробуем создать такой вот контентик, да?
Ну, давайте тогда сначала шеф-повар начнет показывать, а дальше я уже расскажу и все. Yeah, you can start.
Hello everybody, welcome to PackerJet in our booth at the Host in Milano. I'd like to show you something different, which the PackerJet is not that famous for. Normally we make like ice cream, sorbet, mousse creams and the stuff like this. At the moment we are totally in the sea mixology, and I want to show you how to make cocktails with the PackerJet.
И еще хочу дополнить, что данный PackerJet это четвертое поколение, то есть до этого были там вторые джуниоры, но конкретная версия и что мы хотим представить, это четвертое поколение PackerJet. Оно требует особого внимания.
Now you will ask yourself why to use a PackerJet to make cocktails. The answer is really clear. When you use a PackerJet for making cocktails, you don't have to use any ice cubes, crushed ice or things like this, because the cocktail is like totally on point, cooled down. Huh? So from the first drink on until the last you have in your cocktail is like the perfect taste without getting watery because of the ice cubes or the crushed ice.
То есть PackerJet из данной ситуации, они представлены как использование больше для бара, то есть использование в миксологии. Для этого вам, для производства коктейлей, чтобы вам не приходилось использовать лишний лед, воду и задумываться об этом. То есть все ингредиенты смешиваются так же, как и для приготовления мороженого, пробиваются и потом идут сразу в бокал. Сейчас вот нам покажут, как это делается. Yep.
So, and what we have over here, we will start with this light shot. This is, the thinking was a totally clear espresso martini. You can use your packetized speaker. Do I have one over here? Give me just a second.
Buon pomeriggio a tutti, benvenuti in questa demo
You can
di
use
pasticceria.
your normal packetized speaker and you put your recipe in. You can put your recipe inside here. Deep freeze it for 24 hours at minus 20 degrees and then packetize it and you have this result. So it's a totally clear espresso martini, but we call it the creamy teeny because it comes out of the PackerJet and like this is more creamy like a classical espresso martini. So if you want to try, I give you one.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
То есть это то же самое эспрессо мартини, который замораживается в PackerJet, пропускается через аппарат и получается полностью готовый коктейль.
Еще, кстати, прошу заметить, вот интересная такая вот как бы компонирование. Это морозильный специальный стол, который может быть низ-минус, допустим, плюс вверх. Очень удобно работать. Может быть рядом с фритюром или что такое. Вот это не обязательно про этот стенд, но решение интересное.
И получается, решение стола заключается в том, что нижняя полка – это чисто заморозка, то есть которая не перемораживает продукт, хранит его до минус 18 градусов. А верхняя полка, как раз-таки это полка для сервиса, где продукт хранится уже взбитый и готовый к работе. То есть он хранится при температуре минус 10 градусов.
Yes, the second thing I will show to you. This is a recipe we were making just exclusive for the Host in Milan. Everybody in Italy drinks in the morning time like espresso corretto. We know this is espresso with grappa. We were making out of it a cocktail. It's called the espresso affogato virgin style because we don't can serve alcohol over here. Yeah, it's a boring thing, I know.
Why not? A lot of everybody is drinking around.
I know, but we are not allowed to.
Come to a charcuterie or dry aging cabinet. There is like booze everywhere.
And what is funny with this one, you can use it one time like for a cocktail, or the other time if you deep freeze it and packetize it, you have a perfect ice cream as well. So totally a twist in it. Huh? You can use it for two different ways. This is kind of amazing, I think. So you can try if you want to.
То есть это другой коктейль, это эспрессо и аффогато. То есть это можно использовать и как напиток по итогу, и как мороженое. То есть его можно взбивать дважды и использовать в двух вариантах. А ты не хочешь? А? оператор не хочет.
The next thing I can show to you, we have like the classical ginger concentrate, which we are making with the PacoJet. So for this, you use ginger with the skin, carrots with the skin. You use pineapple with the stalk. You just peel the skin off. That's it. You put it in a beaker like this. Fill it up until under the line. Put some apple juice on it. Deep freeze it for 24 hours at -20 degrees. Then packetize it. And here we have added some blood orange juice, some apple juice, and we're making a cocktail out of it. It's fresh, healthy. In the normal way, it's made with gin. In this way, it's made with alcohol-free gin for sure. We add some soda and some tonic water, and we have like really a fresh cocktail. If you try, you will know. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy, говорит, enjoy. Гастро-человек.
Però bisogna avere,
Enjoy.
diciamo, tempo e voglia di mettersi lì a provare. Però tanto dice
То есть здесь делают базу для коктейля, то есть это имбирный эль, можно так сказать, фрукты, овощи, то есть имбирь, ананас, также складывают в колбу для PacoJet, замораживают, добавляют еще остальные ингредиенты и потом пробивают.
Мне кажется, он указал, что не чищенные даже.
Нет, чищенные просто.
Наоборот, чищенные.
Да. То есть чищенные овощи и фрукты закладываются в PacoJet, замораживаются при температуре минус 20 градусов, потом пробиваются, и получается такая вот база для коктейля, которая может разбавляться содовой или просекко, или еще каким-нибудь игристым напитком.
А мне лично понравилось вот эти вот дозаторы. Тоже интересная вещь. Ну, я такое еще нигде не видел.
Are they by some pressure in, or just like...
It's working with under pressure. You push that button and then you have the under
Как
pressure.
будто
This is the reason
в
why-
корову доешь. Ну, то есть интересная вещь.
You can use it for anything.
Но мне кажется, это очень удобно. Очень удобно.
Ketchup, mayonnaise, sauces, So I hope you enjoyed it so far. And packetize me. Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
And enjoy. Really important. Enjoy for sure. You have to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Сейчас Антон более подробно расскажет про функционал вообще этого аппарата, что он
sorry.
делает.
I'm sorry. Can I a little bit like press some buttons, not turning it on, just...
Сейчас мы попросим разрешения потыкать кнопку.
Show you as well.
No, I will just explain them and tell them what...
Packetize one cocktail if you want.
Окей. Сейчас нам покажут, как пробить один из коктейлей и что из этого получится.
Взяли базу.
So over here we have, like I showed you before, the creamy
Yeah.
teeny, the espresso martini. We call it like the creamy teeny. You just use the packetized beaker. Use the packetizing plate. This one is made for the deep frozen things. We have as well a set knife for the fresh things. With this you can make totally other things. You place it under the PacoJet. Put it in the protective beaker.
Tutto per la sfogliatura, perché le consistenze di burro e pasta devono uscire.
And then you push the bottom over here. It's the packetizing mode. There you can make your choice. You can packetize the whole beaker, or you can packetize just 2 portions. Though this is ridiculous as well, because when you have like a customer and you just want to drink one cocktail, just packetize 1 portion. This is possible. Now we make the whole beaker, because at the first time you packetize a beaker, make the whole beaker that all the ingredients are really mixed. So you make the choice whole beaker 1 time with overpressure. If you have overpressure, it's more airy, more fluffy inside. Just press the start button and the rest is the machine doing. That's it.
Ora tanto ve la do anche a voi, così ve la passate un po' dalle mani.
Now we have to wait. The normal packetizing mode takes 4 minutes. Even if when you packetize it 1 time, you can use the jet mode afterwards, and then it's done in 45 seconds. And this is the reason, because we still packetize it, it's in 45 seconds done.
È determinante anche il fatto di farla fermentare prima. Molti impasti, in particolare il francese, non prevedono questo passaggio dove la pasta prima lievita, poi si deghassa e si fa la laminazione. Qui invece è necessario, diciamo che a me piace far lavorare le farine, nel senso non mi piace prendere la pasta, batterla, congelarla e poi quando mi serve lavorarla direttamente. Preferisco che faccia una prefermentazione per 2 motivi. Uno, appunto per far lavorare
So this
la
is
farina
running quick, like you see.
ma soprattutto per dare anche
And now over here we have this really fluffy espresso martini. You can fill it up in a cocktail glass, and that's it.
How
Enjoy.
many portions you do?
Now it's complete the whole beaker.
Complete the whole?
Yes, these are 10 portions. Yes, and if you even when you shake it and you add some vodka or add whatever you want,
Yeah.
you have like 15 portions. But we can work as well with the concentrate. We have a recipe for a mojito concentrate. One beaker. In one beaker for the mojito concentrate, you have 20 grams of mint, 50 grams of brown sugar. The rest is water. Deep freeze it for 24 hours, minus 20 degrees. That's the way we have to do it. Then packetize the whole beaker, and you can make out of one beaker from the concentrate 55 mojitos. And you don't have to add something more. Put it in the shaker, 1 spoon of it.
Yeah, just
Rum, crushed ice, shake it, 55 of them with one beaker. So this is like, you save your money, you save your cost. It's really nice, I guess.
Si vanno a tagliare queste due
But
zone.
with this one now, it's like more safe, as I understand.
Sorry?
It's more safe now, and it's like less people can make less mistakes.
Yes,
than
for
with
sure.
With the
What,
second
what
one.
is it different from last generation and
To this
new
one?
generation?
Okay, here.
Maybe can you explain?
Yes, for sure I can explain. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. We have like the classic one, the packetizing mode. So like this you can packetize like you can do with the old one. We have the overpressure. What we can do, we can packetize portions. So 1 portion, 2 portions, 3 portions. The repeatings we can make over here. So you make, for example, 3 portions and you have to repeat it 4 times. So you make 3 portions of espresso corretto 4 times because then it's perfect liquid to serve it to the customer.
But as I understood, you can also divide portions. Like, for
Yes.
example, you can make 3.5.
These are 3 portions now, 4 repetitions.
For example, here you can make 3.5, 3.5 portions.
Yes, 3.5 portions as well. The decimal system, yeah, you can do it as well. Then you have 4 repetitions.
Yes.
So like this is perfect in the texture. It's like liquid. You can fill it up directly. Then you have the possibility pressure or no pressure. If you have the overpressure, it's more fluffy, more airy. And as well, what is new, totally new at the PacoJet 4, we have the jet mode. I will show it to you from the beginning. So you go to packetizing. Now you see the whole beaker, 1 time, overpressure, and now you press the jet mode button. It's 2 times the whole beaker, and what happens now? You can packetize a whole beaker in 90 seconds. The normal time will be 4 minutes. With the jet mode, it's 90 seconds. And what else is really amazing with the jet mode? You can make recipes with a lot of sugar, with alcohol, and based on fat. And this was not possible with the last PacoJet. This is only possible with this one. Then the rest is like in the last time. We have the cutting mode, so you can make fresh pestos, you can make fresh pastas,
Pâtés, everything.
pâtés, everything like this.
And then you have a new one.
Then you have the whipping, the whipping disc.
Yeah.
You can make with this like whipped cream with fresh fruits. If you have like fruits in your fridge and veggies, yes. And you have like raspberries, for example. You use half beaker of cream. You add 100 grams of raspberries, 50 grams of powdered sugar. Whip it 2 times with a whipping disc. You have a perfectly stabilized whipped cream, which tastes like raspberry, and the raspberries are totally whipped as well. And 1 week in the fridge is staying like this without stabilization from anything else. This is amazing because of the overpressure. And you have a full beaker. Yeah.
А сейчас мы еще зададим вопрос, что лучше не делать клиентам, и вот получим ответ от самого PacoJet, как надо быть аккуратным и что нельзя допустить в этом использовании.
What is like you should not do? For example, here, because as I understand, it has like a lot of safety modes, like protection from the fools. Yes.
Yes.
So
for this you have the
because on previous ones, it was like a problem when you didn't were not putting like
What is your
gasket,
recommendation?
the plate,
the plate like perfect on it, it's getting broken.
Yes.
Now we don't have this anymore because of the device settings. You have the tool detection, and this is when you put the plate like the wrong way into the PacoJet, it won't work.
But on the new one, almost it's on the new blade, it's impossible to put it the wrong way. Or is it still possible?
It's possible if you're not that smart. It's possible, sorry.
You have to be.
Sorry, I have to clean my hands.
Si è brutta, io ho già interrotto, poi magari la
Ну вот, то есть, в принципе, может, чуть-чуть немножко Антон расскажет, потому что на предыдущих версиях и вообще в работе многие допускают ошибки, перемораживают, перебивают, ломают ножи, вводят в ступор аппарат. И вот Антон сейчас больше расскажет, что нужно не делать или делать, чтобы аппарат работал корректно и использовался максимально правильно.
Подожди, сейчас еще идет. So yeah.
So, it's possible, if you're not that smart, sorry for having to clean my hands, but the tool detection will give you no possibility to work with the PacoJet if it's not right in start. So when it's like not that way, it's like this,
Yeah.
it won't work. So the tool detection has to be on all the time. If you turn it off, the guarantee is gone, because then if you make something wrong, it's wrong. But like this, nothing can happen anymore. This was with the old PacoJets, not the same way. This is as well new.
And as well, new is the washing mode. Yes.
Yes, the washing mode is totally easy now. You just have to use a packetizing beaker
Yeah. And a tablet.
and a tablet. That's it. No more brushes or things like this. You just put the spray guard inside. Yes, you use this one.
la faccio cadere.
You put the spray guard with the packetizing blade inside. You press the button OK. Then you add the tablet and the beaker inside 48 to 55 degrees hot water. Press the next button. Clean it one time. Take this one out. Use clear water again. Press the button. Done. It's like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, and then the PacoJet is clean for the next day.
Yep.
And we recommend to clean the PacoJet every evening after using it during the day. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And
Packetize everything.
enjoy.
Griffin GT – твой проверенный партнер в гастромире.